Um, they actually said, uh, "Did he hit the ball?" It was so bad. Um, it was actually shocking. Apparently, my YouTube just kicked in and just went live. We've been live for 26 minutes, but YouTube didn't kick in until just now. So sorry if you want switch over to the Facebook Live. Just look me up at Matt Hazley at Facebook Live, and you can see me right there. But yeah, it's or you just stay right where you're at. But I did want to talk about there was an issue, an article that came out about a transgender golfer that won a I don't know if it's the LPGA, but it's a mini tour event and is trying to break out on the tour. I don't know what most people's opinion is, but I think that I'm not a real fan of somebody coming out and saying they're transgender because he played college, he or she, or I don't know what his pronoun is. I couldn't tell you, but he played college golf as a male, and now he's switching over to be a female or transgender and won a ladies mini tour event. And I don't know. I just think the fairness, it's like you see these transgender weightlifters come out or transgender wrestlers. They're, I don't know if it, a lot of states have gone to where they're banning or they're making, because I think it's just going to kill women's sports for women. I'm not saying that every transgender is going to win, but I think it's going to be. I think it's really going to put, I think it's really going to mess up women's sports. Women's golf. The one thing I love watching women's golf because, one, they're a lot better looking than the guys, but every lady, I should say, that plays on the LPGA tour, I wouldn't say 90% of them or 99% of them, whatever, have smooth swings. And I try to tell students that I teach to emulate those swings like that instead of trying to swing like they're trying to hit it 500 yards. When you look at Bryson DeChambeau hit a driver, most people can't swing that hard and shouldn't swing that hard. That's spinal surgery after that, or a visit to my local chiropractor. I need to. Actually, I'm looking to do is get acupuncture done. I'm having, ever since I had my COVID shot, I'm having tinnitus. And if I tilt my head like that, it gets louder. So there's something in my neck that is going on that I'm hoping that if I get acupuncture can release that, maybe stop lessen the tinnitus. Because I don't know if you don't know, the CEO, he was the owner of Texas Roadhouse. After he got his COVID shot, the tinnitus was so bad, he just drove him crazy, and he committed suicide. He could not stand it. Me right now, I just turned the rock and roll music up a little bit louder or whatever, and that seems to have done it for me right now. But yeah, like right now I can hear it. It's in this ear, and I'm trying to get it to stop. And it can be when I'm not even drinking coffee or anything. Everybody goes, "Oh, your caffeine's too high, your blood pressure's too high." Well, I had my blood pressure done. Last time I was at the doctor, he told me, "Hey, you're good." I actually have lost 41 pounds. So I'm like, "Hey, I'm looking to lose more." Pretty soon when you see me, the mic will be up here and you won't even be able to see me behind it. You know, I don't know maybe that thing, but I mean, that would be a goal, or maybe not quite that, but yes, I would enjoy being where people going, you're too thin, which I don't think I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about it at any time. But I would like to do is where you get thin enough to where you go, yep, I had to go get a whole new wardrobe. Yeah. So that would make my day. But you know, you're looking at this week. I like the majors. It just seems so weird having the PGA in May. You know, because your golf season is going to be done what August. You know, you got May. You have the PGA. June, you're going to have the U.S. Open. July, you're going to have the British Open, and August, the Tour Championship, whatever. Yeah, yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah, I did the same. Gee. Actually, I could show you a picture when I got out of the service, and most people do not believe it was me. They're like, holy crap. I weighed 176 pounds when I got out of the service. And yeah, I was, Ryder Cup. Yeah, that's right. I forgot all about that. Ryder Cup year. And also Olympics this summer. This will be so which is in Japan, the Olympics. So a lot of sporting events going on all summer. I enjoy the majors. I enjoy the regular tour events too, but and I was glad to see the guys that in the last couple of weeks have hung on and won their events where they don't get up there and get a 3-shot lead and then all of a sudden just blow it. Well, although I wanted to see I have nothing against Rory McIlroy, but I wanted to see, I can't remember who was leading it off the top of my head right now, but I wanted to see him keep on going and win it, So I don't know if anybody going to the Ryder Cup. I'm sure that I will find out later, but I'm sure friends of mine will be going, but I'm not. I played last year, played one round of golf. And everybody goes, what? And I played one round of golf. And I played with my brother, my nephew, and one other guy that plays with us quite a bit. And my dad rode along and followed along. And it was the first tee outing at TPC Deer Run. And it was nice just to get out. But this year I'm making an effort to get out and play more, at least twice. Hopefully more than that. But being involved in this coffee company has become, it's a lot of stuff to do, and also getting back and doing radio. I'm still teaching Taekwondo. I don't know how much longer that's going to last. I might take a little hiatus there for a while. I've been teaching for 12 years now, and it just it's getting to be where just too time consuming. I enjoy it. I enjoy my students. It's good to see them, advance, have people come out of shells that they didn't think they could do. I've had people that, you start them off in Taekwondo and, way back had a little girl that would not spar anybody. She is freaking unreal now. I think she's a 2nd degree black belt and phenomenal. I mean, beats the crap out of the boys. So, but she was so afraid of getting injured. And people, I've been injured doing Taekwondo. I've, hurt my feet, my hands. I broke a hand. This one, I don't know if you can see it when I hold it up. It's still kind of, I got to really fight to keep my fingers together. But I've had 3 surgeries on it. it's you know, anything that you want to do, something like that, you're going to end up getting injured. Even if you play tennis, you're going to get tennis elbow, maybe even hurt a knee, fall down. Stuff happens. But it was something that I was able to do is work with my older boy, and go white belt to black belt. And then I had the unbelievable chance to take my youngest son and work him from white belt to black belt and be his instructor. Kathy, what's up, Kathy? Haven't seen you guys forever. But you still see the big swow at all? I was able to do, and I told my youngest son, who's 15 now, and he's not little by any chance. He's almost as tall as I am. He's almost 5'11", 6 foot, and he is over 200 pounds. He's going to play football. I mean, I looked at him the other day and I go, holy crap, he's turned into a man. He's 15 years old. It's size 13 shoes. They spec him out to be 6'4" to 6'6". But I told him, he used to get bullied when he was younger, and I cannot stand the bullying. I used to get bullied when I was younger till I got to a certain age, and I finally just, I said, I'm not taking this crap anymore. Well, my son would get bullied, and I told him, I said, I tell you what, they bully you, they go to touch you, drill them. Don't take that crap. Well, he finally got to where he didn't take it anymore. They stopped bullying him. I told him, I said, when you make, if you put the effort together and make it to black belt, I will go to school with you and we'll work on before we go, your talent show, and we'll have you do a demonstration. We'll board break. We'll do everything. Have you do a special form that you design, that you can show off and everything. And I did. I called him up. Called him at attention. And, we, in Korean and Taekwondo, you say chariot. And I said kunye, which means to bow. And he went through his whole form, did all this. And then we did a tornado kick board break. That's that fancy kick you see spinning in the air, and that foot comes through it and takes out the board. And the whole school was in attendance. He was only probably 14 years old at the time. And I don't know how many kids a lot of them that he bullied, that bullied him, I'm saying, is that their jaws dropped. Like, holy crap, we didn't know James could do that. His principal at that time told me she used to watch him on the playground when he got to hit right before he was up to black belt and everything, where he'd stand there and start doing tornado kicks one after the other down the playground outside. She said it was so neat to see the confidence come out of him. And that's what a lot of it, people sit there and they go, well, you're a fighter. No. Studying Taekwondo, unless you're you plan on competing in like the Olympics or anything like that, that's not necessarily a fighter. You're a self-defense practitioner. That's what I call it. The people that are more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that's more the fighting, the on the ground, the grappling, the wrestling, the holds, I got to give credit to those guys. And I actually want to go take some of that. So I don't, very possible I might get into that if I stop teaching. So it looks like later this summer or whatever, I'll probably be done teaching for a while, and maybe do a little Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or even we call it Hapkido, which is a kind of a accent to our martial art that we work on right now. I will test for my next belt level, but it's taking off, Gene. Thanks, Gene. Thanks for stopping by. I like seeing all your posts on Facebook. Some of them I don't quite understand. I know they're usually music related, but I tell you what, I am the worst at naming songs. I mean, I am terrible. In movies, I could tell you, I could quote you about it, so many lines out of movies, but I can't tell you who's in them. It's amazing. I don't know what it is. And people laugh at me because when they come to the golf course, they say I know everybody. I know everybody's name. I hear people on the phone. I'll talk to them, and they don't even say their name, and I'll say who they are, and they go, "Hey, I'll see you," whatever, and they're like, "Oh, yay, hey, Matt, I can't believe you know my voice." I said, "Well, I had one guy tell me that I'd met him once, and he called like a week later, and I recognized his voice." And he said, "I have people that work for me for years that don't recognize my voice." And I said, "I don't know. That's just something in the golf business. You get used to it because you're so used to booking tee times and stuff like that, that it becomes second nature to you." My kids hate going anywhere with me because I run into somebody I know everywhere, which I think is a good thing. I think it's a positive thing. You get in a grocery store and you run into somebody that that, and they want to talk about golf. And my kids are like, "Oh God," and they got to go, they take off without me, and they'll be looking for stuff. But I mean, it's just, that's the way it is. I'd rather have people that I know or people that I acquaintances that stop and want to say hi than somebody just look at me and go, "Oh my God, I know him, but I don't want to say hi." That's the thing is I try to be outgoing as I can. I want people that when they come to golf that they enjoy it. I mean, that's the whole idea of it. When you come to, to play golf or whatever, I hope you enjoy it. If in, I don't know, Major League Baseball, if you guys happen to see that Kevin Pillar, when he got struck by the 94-mile-an-hour fastball, oh, that was nasty. I was like, I saw that on Twitter, and he got hit by the Braves reliever Jacob Webb. He has multiple nasal fractures. They showed a picture of him, and it was great to see him come back on social media and announce that he's doing okay. I was really worried that he was like maybe orbital fractures or something like that. But luckily it's mainly his nose, and it's not his like eye socket or something like that. And he, because you have a chance of maybe losing an eye out of that. But it ran in on him so quick. And when they showed him, he was like on his hands and knees, and the blood was just pouring off his nose. And I know it's like, because I've had my nose broken, I had it bleed like that. It's very, it's a pretty wild situation because it just pours out. Glad to see that he's going to be okay. You see guys like that, they get injured, and you're like, will they ever come back? I would not want to stand up in there. I mean, I've been hit when I was a little kid in Little League, and I mean, they're throwing it maybe 60 miles an hour, and I get hit by a 60-mile-an-hour fastball, and you cry like for mom. I know I did. And you see a 94-mile-an-hour fastball? No, thanks. I mean, when Little League, that's all we threw was fastballs pretty much. I did want to, there was a kind of a cool thing. The Cubs had a series with the Washington Nationals. And Kyle Schwarber and John Lester had were traded or released or whatever, and they signed up with the Nationals. Well, Schwarber playing left field, Lester pitching. Cubs won like 7-3, but there was some kind of there was a nice tribute to him and a standing O for both of them when Schwarber come up to bat and when John Lester took the mound. It was nice to see them, remember they remember the World Series 2016 Cubs. But there were some funny things that happened in the game where John Lester grounded out to Rizzo, and they're best of friends. And Rizzo kind of nonchalantly tossed it to first base, and Lester, as he's running off the field after, getting out, he goes, "I hate you." And you could just, it was comical. And Rizzo just smiled at him, the Cubs first baseman, Anthony Rizzo. Well, later in the game, Chris Bryant was playing left field for the Cubs. Well, Kyle Schwarber plays left field for the Nationals. He took a pile of candy and piled it up into the left field outfield for Kyle Schwarber. And you see him go out there, and the people in the stands are yelling at Schwarber, "He left you candy," or whatever. And then you hear Schwarber go, "Really, KB?" And Schwarber picks him up and sticks him in his back pocket. So I don't know if he ate him or what, but it was just kind of comical for the one player to leave a pile of candy out in the outfield for another player. Something kind of cool you don't normally see. I also saw a good rain delay video from another team where they had all these skits done up in the rain delay, and it was kind of funny. They had like a little football skit going, and you don't normally get to see that. It's normally they just sit in there, but I've seen a few players screw around on the tarp during rain delays, but most time it's frowned on because they're afraid somebody's going to get hurt. But no, it's I totally forgot to mention this, but I mean, the CDC mentioning or coming out with lifting the mask mandate. And if you've been vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask and all this stuff. Well, I've been vaccinated. Some people, I totally understand people that don't want to get it. I didn't want to get it. I got it because I wanted to be able to see my dad. That's the main reason why I got it. I thought about being able to go and see him. Otherwise, I wouldn't, I don't get to see him very often. He's not real hip on people coming over with this pandemic when it was going on. So we didn't even have Christmas together last Christmas. Last Christmas was kind of tough because it was the first Christmas where I was away from, I didn't get to be, my mom has passed away for a little over 2 years. And it was it was the first real Christmas where we weren't able to get together with anybody. And, last year we were able to kind of grieve, or 2019, I say. And then 2020, we weren't able to get together. Kind of different. But this year, hopefully we can all get together. But there's some weird things they came out today and they said, Fauci comes out and he says that we people that are vaccinated might have to get a booster after 1 year. I'm like, really? Well, I hope not. Tell you what, that sucked getting the first one and the second one. I felt like crap. But the thing I don't know is, why are they pushing the vaccine so hard? And you go, what do you mean pushing it hard? Well, I understand they're trying to get people vaccinated, but I have never seen any state offer five $1 million prizes for people that are vaccinated. That's what Ohio is doing. And if you're underage, where you can't accept the $1 million prize, they will pay for your complete college pay. And I'm like, I'd rather have the money, the $1 million, because you could pay for college a lot easier and still have money left over. But I'm like, really? What is pushing it so hard? And I've heard some mixed reviews from different things. And it's whatever part of the media you hear it from. Some people say the vaccine is, great. They were really effective. And then all of a sudden you see the same people saying the vaccine is really effective, but we're still going to wear masks. what if the vaccine's effective? You don't have to wear the mask, right? Or is it not effective? Or what's the deal? Or do you want us just to be wearing the mask because you want us to stay afraid of each other? I'm really tired of this whole deal. I'm ready for it to be over. It's gotten old. So that's enough with the vaccine. I don't want to talk about it too long, but Prince Harry, which I'm not a real big fan of the royal family. I'm not saying I'm against the royal family, but I'm like, hey, they have nothing to do with us. But Prince Harry made a statement. He slammed our First Amendment. And I'm like, well, isn't that ironic that he can make a statement against the First Amendment? That's freedom of speech. So he goes, our First Amendment is bonkers. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it might be bonkers, but we fought a war for this and won it to have a First Amendment. Think about it. If he's saying it's bonkers, well, that gives him the freedom of speech to be able to say it. I like to be able to have the freedom of speech. Hopefully we don't get to where you have speech police show up and, and say, you said, I can understand if it's speech that would cause harm to somebody, meaning, or threatening. I can understand it, but just to be talking about like what we're talking about tonight, random things. I think that's nice to have the freedom of speech to be able to do that. I just thought that was ironic that he would mention that. I've been watching the Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. I'm 2 episodes into it. The new season. Interesting. I need to get more episodes to catch up, but I'm watching it. I've been watching on the History Channel. It's interesting so far. Hopefully, there's supposed to be one. I think it's on. Was it on tonight? So I'll watch the replay of it later. And hopefully it was supposed to be a good one. It looked like the first one had cattle mutilation in it or whatever like that. But yeah, that would be interesting. But do you see these new UFO videos released? There was an article that came out that where it's let me see if I can find it. It is. Oh, I must have. Nope, I don't see it anymore. Did I close that thing out? But yeah, it had one of the major broadcast stations had broke a story about UFOs, and it's pretty interesting what they've been talking about. So, are these real? Well, or are they doctored up video or what? The one thing I noticed about them is they're awful grainy. We have technology on your phones. We can see 12, 15, 20 megapixels. I don't know what they are, but a hell of a lot better video. And you think the government would have a lot better cameras in these fighter jets and stuff that they're supposedly tracking these things. Or maybe they're blurring on purpose. Maybe they're blurring them out for a reason because they don't want you to see what they are too well. Kind of makes you go, maybe these aren't real. But if you saw that, one day, all of a sudden, we're going to have an ET walking right amongst us. And who knows, we might have it now and you just don't even know it. I've seen some people that I kind of wonder. But, you see this stuff going on and you're going like, what are you going to believe it's real or not? Who knows? or are you going to want to sit there and believe it's real or not? You know, that's the thing. They said they had, you know, there's always something strange and occurrences that are happening, and like paranormal. I guess a new Ghost Hunters is coming out. They were bought out by another station, so they're coming out. But what's it? I think Nick Groff is not with them. He didn't go with them. He's not involved in the new one, but he tweeted a thing out. He said, "I got his autograph right here." But or Grant. I'm sorry, Grant. It's I actually got Grant Wilson. I actually got his real business card, so I could show it but he'd probably get. I was told not to show it, so because it actually has his real phone number on it. My daughter got it for me as a Christmas gift one year. I thought it was kind of cool. But if you know, there's all kinds of different things that go on, like paranormal and you know, extraterrestrial. We were talking about today about apparently they're designing you know, robotic stuff that can replicate itself to where so it can reproduce itself when they're on other planets to keep itself going. And I'm like going, wait a minute, does this sound like I'm waiting for Arnold Schwarzenegger to come popping out in this thing or whatever. That was one of the freakiest movies because, you know, I watched this thing and it was in 1984 or 85. I can't remember what year it was when that first came out, and the Terminator. And I was like, is this thing going to freaking die? I mean, it was so, at that time, the graphics were just so overwhelming. And now they're just even better, you know, 10 times better than that. It's amazing how technology has evolved, and you see some of the old things and you go, oh, wow, you know, like the old Star Wars compared to the new, you know, with all the graphics now. But if something does happen, I mean, you're going to have a spaceship land. You're going to think, oh, that's just some technology we have, until you see that little green guy come walking out of it or whatever, you know, and, like Fire in the Sky. You ever seen that movie, which is based on a true story? I'd love to interview the gentleman from it. I'm going to see if I can get him on. I just can't imagine what that would be like to go through that incident that they had. Great movie based on a true story, you know. But a lot of people think, oh, you believe in that? You're kooky. You wear tinfoil hats, all this. Well, we'll see. I think we're pretty naive to think we're the only ones in the solar system. I mean, it's how you're finding planets way beyond our stuff. Something has got to be inhabitable from somewhere else. Some other stories in the news, tech news. Ford Motor Company is coming out with technology where they can read billboards as it's driving down the road. Your camera on your vehicle will pick up the billboards and read them and flash them on your infotainment center screen, which I think is, well, actually, I think it's stupid because it takes your eyes off the road to look at the your infotainment thing to see the billboard, what it was for. So I just don't think that's a great idea. Plus, the fact is, what do I need the billboard on the infotainment screen when I can see the billboard up on the screen, up on the billboard? I don't need it to pop up on my screen. So I don't know where that came from or why. But yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. But this is an article I'm going to talk about probably next week. But this is an article in Tech. It's called Facial Recognition, Fake Identities, and Digital Surveillance Tools was inside the Post Office Covert Internet Operations Program. So we're going to talk about that. I talked about that program, but there's some more information that came out about it. Also, companies are having trouble hiring employees, so they're trying to go more to automated machines. So think about that. You look at going into a grocery store, most of them, like going to Walmart, how many self checkouts do they have? Now they put 1 or 2 people for like 12 of these self checkouts, and all they do is they just make sure that you bring your stuff in, and they kind of stand there. Now they've gone from 12 employees to 2, and you think you're bagging your own groceries, you're scanning your own stuff, that's how they make everything automated. And do you get the jobs back? No. Here's another story that come out, and I thought this was kind of funny. Woman faced felony charge for not returning a VHS tape for over 20 years. I'm like, whoop. You think they would have just been able to buy the VHS at that time, or they would have been billed for it. I've had it where I go return them, and I returned it actually right on the desk, and they told me I returned them late. Because some guy didn't scan it in. Well, video stores, there's a couple of them here. They call Family Video. And I go, how do they stay open? These things are big. How do these? And I found out that apparently the porn section is what keeps them going. People renting the porn. And I'm like, whoa, really? I said, like, you can't find it on the internet? So earlier I started with Police Week. I got 2 stories left that I want to talk about. Yep, that's all I want. Yep, 2 stories left. I got one that had 4,800 shares with this. I laughed because I thought it was hilarious. Some of the comments that were made, and it was an article, a post that came out on Facebook, and I got a good chuckle out of it. And it says, the post was, "What can you say during sex, but also at a family dinner?" And so I was just going down, and I had I had to laugh at some of the comments that were made. And one was, and I'm going to read them whether you like them or not. You might like some of them, you might not, but it was comical to some of. It was like, it said, "Oh, that was delicious. Hold on, waiting for your sister." I was like, it says, "I couldn't fit another thing in me." Well, okay, if you insist. Another one said, "That was good. I'm glad I came." I'm like, it says, "I feel like having seconds and taking a nap." I'm just like, some people are comical. Some people are, anyone else getting an aftertaste. I'm like, and then the one I Mom, you've really outdone yourself this time. 3,400 likes on that one. I was like, just not actually the likes, but it was like laughing. So somebody, their Facebook must have been going off like crazy. The notifications. It says, "I put too much in my mouth. Now I'm choking." "Oh, you got to blow on it and save some room for dessert." I'm like, some of these are just so bad. But as I said, there's different groups on there. One is called "Dude, Where's My Par?" It's about golf. If you're a golf fan, they will roast you if you post on there. So just saying, if you have sensitive feelings, that's not the place you need to go hang out. But you know, there's things like that I like to look at because they're comical. They help you release stress throughout the day. You know, have fun. Don't try to be too sensitive about everything. Look at everything with a grain of salt. You don't know most of the people on the internet that you're chatting with. But, you know, when you go onto a site like that, that's what you're expecting. Some people go on there and they purposely troll people to be rude or mean. You know, that's not right. Well, but I want to end up with a story. This is another police officer story. And this is a kind of a sick one. There was a Florida lap dancer. She faces 1,036 years in prison after she allegedly assaulted 5 police officers with her vagina. And I'm like, okay. Apparently, infecting them with chlamydia, gonorrhea, and herpes. And I'm like, okay, how did she assault them? And was it just fluid or what? I mean, seriously, that's just, I know that when you take a prisoner and, they spit on you and have AIDS. I had a guy one time we were trying to do is hold him down. He was become combative and he spit right in my face. And this is back in the 80s. It happens. Back then you didn't think anything about, HIV and, stuff like that. You never thought, it was not even a thought of at that time. Now they talk about, people getting HIV and hepatitis from needles, get a needle stick. So you wear, when you're searching, you wear gloves that are puncture proof. You try to, so you don't get a needle stick. Yeah, I mean, it happens probably more often than you think. People getting stuck with needles because they put them in their pocket without putting a cap on them. Well, we've been on for a little over an hour. I think it's going to be a great tournament this week. Watch the PGA Championship, get a chance to. We'll talk about it next week and we're going to get more into that, post office program where they're spying on your social media, tracking your social media, as I should say. And I'm like, why is that from the post office? How does that have anything to do with the post office? So we'll talk more about that, and we'll try to get more in depth on these videos, and we'll comment about that secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. Talk about that one that just went down. I think that show was on tonight, and maybe we can get some more info into this. And I'm going to do is reach out to try to get a hold of the Fire in the Sky and see if we can get somebody on here to interview for that. But everybody have a great night, a great week. We'll see you. I like to always say, be safe. If you see something, say something. If you see something going on, help your fellow man. That's what we're here for. Go out there. If you can't say something good about somebody, have some coffee and then say it. So remember, Area 51 Coffee Company, area51co.com. Log on there, get you a mug, get you some coffee. I guarantee you'll love it. Have a great night, a great rest of your week, and be safe.